Thursday evening, everyone. This is Cincy Forecast weather forecaster Trevor Cole with your Trackin Weather with Trevor update. Let's take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast for Friday, November 14th, 2008. By 7 a.m., it'll be 44 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. By 3 p.m., the rain should start becoming a possibility across some parts of the tri-state. It'll be scattered by then, but nonetheless a possibility re-entering the forecast. We'll top at about 64 degrees tomorrow about 5 p.m. By 9 p.m., we'll see the rain really starting to pick up across the area with increasing intensity and coverage, it's not going to be a heavy rain event, but we could see some pockets of moderate to localized heavy bursts of rain, but it won't be a big swath of heavy rain across the area. It's not one of those events. Let's take a look at the national satellite animation right now, and you can see that there are some increasing clouds and an expanding cover shield of clouds to our northwest, which is sliding towards the east and should overspread the tri-state. By tonight and tomorrow morning, we should really start to see the clouds thickening up and expanding across the area. Now let's take a look at a zoomed-in image right here, and you can see that it was a pretty good afternoon across the tri-state. We saw some peaks of sun, which allowed a temperature to top at around 60 degrees across the tri-state. Some higher, some lower than that, but general about 60 degrees across the area. Once again, note those clouds though pushing towards the area for tonight and through the weekend. And now let's take a look at the radar. What's going on under those clouds? You can see there's a fairly nice swath of rain to our northwest across the central midwestern states right now. So you can see from parts of Wisconsin down through parts of Kansas, the rain's really starting to expand and fill in with intensity and coverage. So this should really evolve well for the Cincinnati area as we head into tomorrow evening and Saturday morning. We should see a nice rain event out of this. Now let's take a look at a zoomed-in image of this system and of the radar right now, and you can see that the rain is starting to approach the western parts of the radar screen right now, so that'll continue to sag east and southeast through the Midwest through tonight and tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the severe weather outlook for Friday. There's a little bit of an area shaded in yellow across the southeastern United States as some of these thunderstorms might become severe. It's not a high chance, but a couple storms could become severe, producing damaging winds and large hail. Now let's take a look at the long-range outlook. This is really interesting, and this is something a lot of weather enthusiasts like myself have been talking about very profusely over the last several days, is this large area of cold air that's expected to overspread the eastern parts of the United States. On this map right here, you're looking at the temperature anomaly map, and note those dark colors and the little bright whites in the cores of those dark colors. That is some bitter Arctic air right there that is sliding towards us, and we will be impacted by some of that. It won't be as cold as it will be to the north, but it will be modified as it hits our area, but it'll still be fairly chilly. And if these models pan out, we could be seeing highs in the 30s and even 20s by the end of next week, and that'll just be something we don't really see in November very often. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on that, as that could be a very large and widespread Arctic outbreak by next week, the end of next week. Now let's take a look at the other part of this. This is the 12Z GFS from today. It's a model we use as forecasters to predict the weather. And note that the blue line that's just to the west, or pardon me, just to the east of the Cincinnati area. And then note that all that precipitation in the dark blues, that's all precipitation or liquid. And then note that the line is to our east, and that rain is overspreading the area. In this case, it looked like it would be in the form of snow. And if this model were to pan out as shown on this map right here, if this were to verify completely as shown right now, we would be looking at a blizzard across the Cincinnati area with upwards of 20 or more inches of snow and bitter Arctic winds blowing out of this thing. And if that were to pan out, that would be simply amazing for November. However, that is still far away, and the models will be jumping all over with this thing, so we probably will not see something to this extent, but it is still something nice to look at. As forecasters, we like to see this stuff because we like active weather, but it probably will not pan out like that. But nonetheless, there's a possibility of a system producing accumulating snow for the Cincinnati area by the end of next week into next weekend. That's really far away, so don't really worry about that right now. But let's take a look at the 5-day outlook right here. Windy is the big word for Friday night through Saturday as the system really cranks up and gets those tight isobars through the tri-state. We'll be looking at some very strong wind gusts with possibly a dusting to an inch of snow on Saturday. We'll have to see how that works out. Some areas, it depends on how the lake effect bands set up. It depends on how this whole thing really evolves, but the chance is there for a bit of accumulating snow on Saturday. It should not cause any problems though, as the ground temperatures will still be fairly warm at this time. through the end of the weekend through next week. Temps will modify a bit into the 40s, but then fall back into the 30s for Tuesday, which could be only around 32 degrees, which would be a very chilly day. Well, thanks for watching this episode of Trackin' Weather with Trevor. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Sunday with the next edition of the show. But for now, you guys have a fantastic Friday.